Is Predator Badlands worth your time, or is this franchise past its prime? Hello and welcome to Cinema, where we focus on the film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it. Predator Badlands. Is it good, bad, somewhere right in the middle? Let me know your thoughts by taking it into my personal review, following about a story of this predator that's trying to navigate this venture into this other planet, trying to tackle on this unbeatable beast in order to own the honor of in front of his father, becomes interesting by the way we're following about all of these interesting ideas with tackling the android that we pick up along the way, who becomes an unlikely ally to the predator, that we're tackling a more interesting and compelling arc where the predator itself is now the protagonist of the story. We're picking up Elle Fanning, who plays the android that's lost her legs, and being able to follow about the source of this evil organization creates this interesting environment that goes about the Badlands, which is this desolated planet, creating all these different steps along the way that creates plenty of space for action to build and introduce what we're getting out of Dan Trachtenberg, who has done the previous two films of this franchise, both within the animated route, within Predator Killer Killers, and also the live action route straight to Hulu, which was Prey, and following the cultural exploration that is prominent within those two films, we continue to build on the characterization within this, and you can watch this film on its own, which becomes interesting as part of the Predator franchise, is separating the stories, even though you know they're part of the same universe, and making it feel very distinct in its own style, creating once again cinematography and things about the recreation of the VFX, the CGI to the Predator itself that looks wonderful, that really captures the essence of making this feel ever so real, creating some excellent fights and choreography between the Predator and everything he's up against, not having so many humans this time around, which creates an interesting dialogue within what we're formulating within the writing itself, which as a sci-fi fan really dug into what I love out of this sort of film, had enough actions to keep things motivating, moving along, and building upon an environment that really feels desolate as it's likely needed to be, but still creating that cultural introspection within the characters, the need for honor versus shame within his father is something that's an interesting drive for the characterization, especially seeing this predator as the protagonist of the story leads it into an interesting new direction, which takes me into the positive. I love the new exploration. The cultural introspection is something that's way up my alley, and there's plenty of fights and action to pick up the pace to make this feel like it's worth your time, while diving into some characterizations that are much more deep and thoughtful than we've seen in some of the earlier entries to the Predator franchise, that you could still argue whether it's better or worse based on what it digs into your personal opinions. But otherwise, there's just something that's really well explored within the cinematography, within the story route, that really picks up the pace of the story along the way. Which takes me into the negatives. There's something that sadly can feel a little bit like it leans too much into some certain sci-fi tropes that we've seen before, that we've done before, time and time again, that happen later on within the story. It personally doesn't bother me too much, but within the story direction, if it's something you don't necessarily feel is too creative, there are certainly navigations to this story that could have taken place a little bit better, and there's also certain fight scenes that are taking place within the dark. It may happen and move too quickly for you, or within the action choreography, it just doesn't look as great when everything's moving so quickly, when things feel a little too simple. So just those simple mannered things could be a little bit creative within the way that they otherwise introduce themselves within this story. So that's just my personal thoughts on Predator Badlands, which I have to rate a simply 8.5 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Predator Badlands. Was it good, bad, or somewhere in between? Let me know all your thoughts and any other reviews you'd like to see here on this channel. Make sure to like this video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already to join in the film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. So that's just all, and make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.